Hello, everyone. Welcome back inside the film room. I'm Zach Goins, and today I'm joined by the captain himself. It's Kola Bokinni from Ted Lasso. He plays Isaac McAdoo on the Emmy-winning comedy. Kola, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Oh, yeah, it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me back on.
I'm excited to talk to you, obviously, because, season 3 is out there. It's a wrap. The show has run this arc that we've heard about, and I'm just curious for you over the last, week and a half, 2 weeks. What's the emotional state? How are we feeling as this is all coming to a head and just relishing this moment here?
Yeah, it's quite surreal. I've been in this show for quite a long time now. I was quite a young man, when I joined this show. And as my characters aged, I have also aged, and now I feel like Isaac, when you first met him, was not the Isaac that you were left with in the end. And I've just loved every minute of it, and I just I'm really excited about what the future brings.
Well, I heard that I know the cast, you all got together, had a very private, intimate viewing party for the finale. And
Yes.
reliable sources, aka Hannah Waddingham, has said that you were the most sniffly one in the group of the everybody watching it, that everybody needed to keep passing you the tissues because the big burly captain was the one that was bawling his eyes out. Is that true, or is she just giving you a hard time?
Um, it was an emotional time.
Hey, I can't blame you. I was emotional on the couch at home watching it, so I can't imagine for you as someone who's lived through it to finally see it up there. So
yeah, you know what it was like. It was a lot different than watching it at home, in London. On my TV. Everyone was there, and it was emotional. The room was really silent, and yeah, it did get to me a little bit, because we've been through quite a lot together.
mhm.
And it just felt like yeah, it was a lot of things going on and happening, and I was quite overwhelmed.
Yeah, well, Phil said that Hannah was also sobbing, so it's not.
Everyone
I
was
feel like
everyone was sobbing. Everyone
yeah,
was sobbing.
everyone was.
Everyone was really emotional. I don't know. I like, if you look at me, you'd think that I would be like, "Ugh," but no, I was gone. Yeah.
Well, I can't blame you at all. But getting into that finale episode, I love this big moment that we get for Isaac as the game is on the line. We've got him lined up for the equalizer, and of all people, this defender is the one who's gonna kick the PK. And
Yeah.
I think this moment is such a great blend of what this show does so well, being, on the one hand, comedy that you absolutely obliterate it, kick it through the net, demolish someone's face in the crowd, but also it is the culmination of total football really coming to a head that you've got your defender kicking it. It's the belief in yourself, the team, the like sportsmanship between Danny and Jamie, I'm sorry, giving the PK over to you. So what was it like to sort of have this as your climax as Isaac and really get to show off some of those offensive skills after we've seen you as the defender for so long?
I mean, I've actually had to learn to be a defender because as when I was playing football and when I do play football now, I'm an attacker.
Mhm.
So I've had to learn that aspect of the game and not bombing forward when when you have to defend.
So you were getting back to your roots with this kick here.
Yeah, yeah. So I was, it's a running joke in the cast that I have the hardest shot. Because I do have quite a hard shot, but it's a running joke, and then when they put it in there, it made me laugh a bit. And yeah, it was great to get to do that, and have commit, and for all the people that I hit John Wings night is
Yeah.
character in it was full circle.
I love the way that he's able to work his way back in here at the finale. But you know, talking about Isaac, this is a character that we've seen. You were talking about how you've aged and it's a different version of this character. Like that's absolutely true because back in season 1, he was very much didn't open up at all, was very bruff or like brusque and then just like to the point. And there's still certainly that element of him now, but we also see this version of him that's willing to have these heart to hearts, to open up with his friends, with his coaches. And so for you as you're crafting this character over the course of 3 seasons, what was the most either the most rewarding part of this transformation or the most challenging part to really master as you're changing this character?
The most challenging part is probably the most rewarding part. I had to learn how to be a leader, because it doesn't it rubs off on you. I might have played a character that was the captain, but it also rubs off in real life, even when I'm around the lads and I'm around my fellow actors. You start taking on the role a little bit, subconsciously. So it's taught me a lot about how to be a leader. Researching the character and researching, some of my idols and some of my heroes that have been leaders, and how they've navigated through certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
I've learned so much. Yeah, that's pretty much all I can say on that subject, to be honest. I've just enjoyed being able to, this season especially, being able to like kind of show everyone different sides of Isaac, that I was not necessarily able to show in previous seasons. And Isaac beginning to believe in himself, and some of his colors to kind of show, and where he's not just like a brick wall. It's more like there is just different pages to his book.
Right.
Every chapter that you find with Isaac, you see a different side to him, and what he is behind closed doors. You get to see that, with him and Colin, and it was just great to finally be able to show everyone, like, what he's really about.
Absolutely. And you mentioned Colin. That's obviously a huge part of Isaac's story this season, the relationship between the two of them. And you had me scared there for a minute when we had that cliffhanger from episode 8 into episode 9, where it's how is Isaac going to react to this new information about Colin being gay. So for you as an actor, when I've talked to the other cast members, different elements, some of them were like told their full plot, going into the season of where it was headed. Some of them were finding stuff out episode to episode as you get the scripts. So we obviously were watching this and had a cliffhanger, not knowing what the reaction was going to be. Did you know all along that, like, okay, this is where we're getting with Colin, or were you, give me that episode 9 script because I need to find out?
I mean, the episodes were changing, but I was given an idea of where it was gonna go and how I should address it, and how I should play it. They knew and they trusted in me and in the character that I developed, that I would know how to react in my Isaac way.
Mm-hmm.
But they gave me a basic diagram of what they wanted. And I'd known that it would be the end of the episode, and it would be like as if he's not the best person, or
Right.
not that they thought he was. And that's what Lasso is all about. It's like bringing you up, taking you down, bringing you up, taking you down, taking you sideways, wherever you want to go. But yeah, I was given an idea, but it was challenging. It's always been challenging with this show, that it keeps you on your toes. So you never know, it could have just changed.
Yeah. We should have had faith in the captain. We knew you'd come around, and in the end here,
it was so crazy because everyone was like so quick to like be like,
Isaac's not an ally.
Isaac broke my heart, and I was like,
guys, be patient.
A little bit of time, patience, calm down.
Well, I love what eventually comes from it when we do get to episode 9, and the reaction from your character was, what we find out is that it was more of like guilt on your own end, saying what was it about me that did not allow Colin to feel trusting to come out to me. And I feel like that's such a real feeling. And I love the way that this character, we see him just over the course of this season grow from, in the locker room after you blow up, the whole team is like, oh, the F word it's horrible, but it's not anything we haven't heard before. But you having known this information makes it all the more real, all the more personal. to, know that it's your friend, it's your buddy that's going through that. And I just love the way that you make that personal tie so quickly.
It just shows you that, like, a lot of the time people take things as face value, and they don't really think that you don't know what that person is going through, and you don't know why something as trivial that is very trivial to you could mean so much to someone else, and we overlook that a lot, in society.
Absolutely. And we get that opening up, what this leads to, the explosion, then to the boot room with Roy. And I love the relationship that we've seen between Roy and Isaac over the last all 3 seasons. But season 2, we had the moment where Roy took him back out onto the field in the city to get his mojo back, and to now see that mentorship continue on here from one captain to another. I think that these two are just kind of kindred spirits, because they're both gruff, they're both direct to the point.
They come from the same cloth, to be honest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love the way that Roy is able to, now that he's done some work on himself and realized how to solve some of his issues, he's able to then sort of share this wisdom and coach Isaac along the same way.
Yeah, because you can see that Isaac's going down the same path that he went.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it leads to the press conference, where he tells the story, and everyone understands why Roy is so understandable in that, and empathetic in that situation.
Right.
You can see that Isaac's dealing with something. And one thing that I love about Roy's character is that, he knows when it's none of his business. You know what I mean? And I like to take that into my own life. Not everything is my business,
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 things. There's, my business and none of my business. And I like to take that into my real life and teach people that also.
It's great wisdom to pass along. But there's a moment that I want to ask you about. I know you're talking about building the character and the way that you kind of developed things in your head that may not necessarily be seen on screen. And so if you can help me here with this moment in season 3 where we first see the footage of Nathan ripping the sign up, and as expected, the locker room blows up and there's a lot of outrage. Isaac very much is like, we don't want Nathan back, he's dead to us. And then the next time we really see this problem addressed is when you've taken the vote and you're helping recruit him back to the team. So I'm curious, as you were building your character, I know we didn't see anything on screen, but what sort of growth did Isaac undergo to have that change of heart about how he felt about Nathan?
I think he's learning that everything is not about him. I know we forget that we are not the center of the universe. And I've said this before, like, when we close our eyes at night, the world stops for us, but the world keeps going on. And there's many things that happen while you're asleep. And I believe that he's starting to understand that, and he believes that everybody deserves a second chance. Isaac's had second chances. Isaac, he's been a bully in the past. He's been wrong. He's been aggressive. He's been angry, and I believe that even though Nate did something that is terrible, does that mean that he's still not your family? He's still not a part of your team? And I believe Isaac understood that he needed to come back home, and in order for him to be able to continue his recovery.
Right. Well, it was a great moment to get to bring him back. I'm so excited with how it wrapped up. But flipping the script to the real world here for one last question. I know you have been a hot commodity in the NFL recently, from attending the Dolphins Jaguars game in London to then announcing a draft pick with Christo for the Dolphins. Are you a full-fledged Dolphins fan? How did you go about, deciding your NFL allegiance, or are you still a free agent up for grabs? Because I would like to recruit you to the Carolina Panthers if we can.
I am very much still learning the game. I'm very, very much still taking my baby steps in the game. The Dolphins have shown me so much love and so much fun and enjoyment. And I do love the team, love what they stand for, love their colors, you know, all that, and love where they're
You
based.
do look great in that throwback jacket. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, where they're based doesn't hurt either, you know, Miami. But I'm still very much just feeling it out and seeing what the game is about before I make any big decisions, you know.
Okay, okay. So I'll have to put a formal pitch together to get you to come to my team, to the Panthers.
Send it to my email address, you know. I'll look over it, you know.
Okay, sounds good. Well, Kola, thank you so much for stopping by the show. Thank you for this show, Ted Lasso. It's absolutely brilliant, and it means a lot to a lot of people out there. So thank you for coming by and talking all about it.
Thank you so much for having me on again.